Lecture 19. Those who have never made significant mistakes are merely mediocre individuals, Part 1. This is the 19th lecture of the leadership course. Let me ask you a question first. What is the difference between greatness and mediocrity? There are obviously many answers to this question, but I believe there is one answer that is more important than others. Before revealing this answer, let me ask you a more personal question. Have you ever made a significant mistake? I have asked this question multiple times in my offline leadership classes, where there are usually around 30 to 40 people. I ask them to raise their hands if they have made a significant mistake. Can you guess how many people raise their hands? Usually, it's only a few, or even just one or two. Now, I will tell you where the difference between greatness and mediocrity lies. The difference lies in whether you can raise your hand confidently when asked the question, have you ever made a significant mistake? This is actually the viewpoint of management guru Peter Drucker. Drucker said, I never promote anyone who hasn't made mistakes, and probably big ones, because a person who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Mediocre people are afraid of failure and see it as a bad thing, so they are unwilling to raise their hands. Great people, on the other hand, face failure with confidence and even see it as a good thing. The main content of this lecture is to tell you that the watershed between mediocrity and greatness is the attitude towards failure. If you want to cross this watershed, you need to overcome 3 obstacles. 1. The watershed between greatness and mediocrity. I ask, have you ever made a significant mistake, and then I say, those who didn't raise their hands are mediocre individuals. Some people may not agree, right? They might say, but we really haven't made any significant mistakes. Does that mean we're wrong? I'm telling you, it does. Not making significant mistakes is your mistake. If a person has never made significant mistakes, it means they haven't taken risks and have been living cautiously every day. In terms of leadership, it means they only solve routine problems or at most technical problems, and they haven't stepped up to solve challenging problems. Therefore, even if they make mistakes, they are only small mistakes. Moreover, if you have never made significant mistakes, it also means you haven't made significant progress. Did you know that the founder of Huawei, Ren Zhengfei, once said, cadres who have never made mistakes and have not improved can be dismissed on the spot? There are 2 points worth noting in Ren Zhengfei's statement, and I will explain them to you. Drucker said that if you have never made significant mistakes, he won't promote you. Ren Zhengfei, on the other hand, not only won't promote you, but he will also dismiss you. Ren Zhengfei is even more ruthless than Drucker. What did Ren Zhengfei put on par with making mistakes? Improvement. I repeat Ren Zhengfei's words, cadres who have never made mistakes and have not improved can be dismissed on the spot. You may ask, what about cadres who have never made mistakes but have improved? Shouldn't they be promoted? I'm telling you, there are no such cadres. To continue to improve, you will inevitably make mistakes. To be more precise, it is impossible to continue to improve without making mistakes. Why are most people mediocre while a few become great? It's because a few people are not afraid of making mistakes and learn from their mistakes. Many people believe that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Jordan appeared in an advertisement where he said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Notice that Jordan said, I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Most people see failure and success as opposites and only think about success, not failure. But that tiny minority of outstanding people knows that mistakes and improvement, failure and success, are causally related. In fact, I believe that everyone has made significant mistakes. Those who think they haven't made significant mistakes have made a significant mistake themselves. They don't even know they've made significant mistakes. If they don't realize their mistakes, how can they improve? To go from mediocrity to greatness, you need to change your attitude towards failure. However, to achieve this transformation, you need to overcome 3 obstacles: psychological obstacles, social obstacles, and ability obstacles. There is more than one obstacle in each of these 3 areas, but I will focus on the main ones. 2. Psychological obstacles of fear of failure. Let's talk about the psychological obstacles first. There are 2 main psychological obstacles that make us afraid of failure. One is called loss aversion. Loss aversion was discovered by the famous psychologist Kahneman and his colleagues. The pleasure we get from gaining 100 yuan is far less than the pain we feel from losing 100 yuan. Because we value losses more, we are afraid of failure. We focus more on threats than opportunities. This is loss aversion. You may have heard of loss aversion, but you may not know that it is our nature and has many negative effects. Why do we have this nature? Because it has evolutionary advantages. In the risky primitive society, loss aversion helped our ancestors survive. However, in today's social environment, failure is no longer a matter of life and death most of the time. Therefore, our nature of loss aversion brings more harm than good. In addition to loss aversion, there is another psychological tendency that makes us afraid of failure, which is the self-enhancement bias. Except for people with depression, everyone has a self-enhancement bias, which is a psychological tendency that has evolved in humans. We are afraid of failure because it will destroy our positive self-image. This is also a psychological obstacle,